My answer would be tornado analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Option B, that's because that is the one that usually shows us the severity analysis, I mean, status of the risks.
Okay. So what are the other three tools? As we are discussing elimination technique, we need to know what A is, what C is, what D is. So why not Monte Carlo analysis? What is Monte Carlo analysis? I would love to know that. What is decision tree analysis and what is influence diagram?
Okay, so Monte Carlo analysis is basically giving us a probability of achieving a risk versus with time versus cost. That is mainly
Mhm.
for Monte Carlo analysis. And decision tree is basically a decision made on the positive and the negative side of a risk, and
Okay.
then a decision. And
Okay.
influence diagram is a tool used for quantitative risk, but not for severity. That's my understanding.
Okay, I like the way that you identify one keyword and you took that keyword by heart and worked into that. Yeah, that's a good way. But we also should know what other tools and technique are. Like Monte Carlo analysis is more of a simulation. When you have a long data and you want to pause it, then at that purpose we will use Monte Carlo analysis. Influence diagram sees which item has more influence. Okay. Risk as quantitative risk analysis have 5 to 6 tools, so knowing them can really help us. Okay,
Okay.
but your answer is right, sister.
Yeah, I think it's B.
Why?
Because like it could have been they're exploiting the seller, but like B because they're sharing the risk with a friend and he's gonna give that some profit, and like if there's any loss, they're gonna share it basically.
Mhm. Okay, how it could have been C, D, E, or A? Can you give us the scenario? The same question.
Uh, it's can be mitigating, but it's like it's kind of mitigating the risk if they're not like he's not gonna bear the whole loss that way.
Mm-hmm.
And acceptance would be because there's no as such risk involved, so it's not going to be acceptance. And avoiding, it's not going to be avoiding. If there's any loss, he's gonna have some 100%. So it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
between. So that's why I was thinking share, because he's going to have it with a friend. With
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. So first thing first, if we talk about for mitigate or avoid, it has to be a negative risk. Wherever here it's a positive risk. It's not a negative risk. So in order to be avoid or mitigate, it has to be negative risk. It's an opportunity. You have an opportunity at your hand. We are talking about profit and not loss. Okay, that is the thing. For acceptance, to be acceptance, you should not have done anything. For exploiting, now the only thing is basically exploiting and share.
So from the question, it's clear that the risk is too high for the organization to keep the work to themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
they are basically giving it to somebody, or like they're buying an insurance, going to a third party.
Mm-hmm.
So they are not in this scenario. They are not avoiding it, since they are going forward and giving it to somebody. So
Mm-hmm.
an eliminate A. So it's transferring to a third party. So it's not mitigate, and they're not accepting it because they are not working within the organization to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I'll go with D.
How it would have been avoided?
If they do not do the work, or if they don't take over, like do not give it to third party or do by themselves, then
Hmm.
avoid.
Okay. Okay.
Don't do it at all.
Don't do it at all. Okay, so why not acceptance? So once I come to the link, let's have a discussion again. Okay, so why not? Why not acceptance? What
So
was the justice?
if they do it by themselves, say the organization did the work by themselves, or if they accept the risk and go forward and make a plan to work
Hmm.
in response,
Hmm. Hmm.
that will be accept.
Okay, one more point from my side regarding the acceptance. How, like, in order for it to be have acceptance, you should not take any action. You have actively identified it and worked into that way. Vinci, why do you think it's acceptance?
So here they have accepted it, right? And then he understood that a risk is going to happen, and he is accepting it, and that's why he wanted to buy an insurance.
Okay. Okay, let me ask you what is acceptance. There are two type of acceptance: active acceptance and
And
passive acceptance. And acceptance is always for a reactive risk strategy, not a proactive risk strategy. Let me go back to our acceptance a little bit. how acceptance really occur. So let's say I just bought a car. Okay, acceptance would be, okay, if I am going to get an accident or there is some trigger that my car is getting problem, then I'm gonna get insurance. Okay, what transference will be? I just bought a car, I immediately got a insurance, and now if something happens, whatever it is, it goes to third party. So that's why it is transference. Okay, that's why it is. This is a very critical thing to understand. Both transference and acceptance look like the same thing, but you need to look at, is it a proactive strategy or is it a more of a reactive risk strategy? How we are handling a patent risk and how we are handling a risk, the strategy is defined by that term. And I hope that makes sense to you, right? Thank you.
Yes.
You are the project manager of large. You identify the risk. You change the plan. So risk never occur. This is a very important keywords. Never occur. This is avoiding. When you completely eliminated the risk, that now the risk is never occurring. That is avoiding of risk.